Okay, so Wind Gap, Missouri. Two murdered girls, right? Ann Natch was 9, and now Natalie Keene. It's, well, it's just awful.
It really is. And less than a year apart, too.
Right, less than a year. So what we're looking at today, I guess our mission, is Wind Gap after Natalie's funeral. What's the town like? How are people reacting?
Yeah, trying to get a sense of that.
And we've got, well, a lot to go on, actually. Some really insightful firsthand stuff. Someone who was there, saw it all. And then a news report, too, like a more official version.
Yeah, that combination, personal and official, it gives us a lot to work with, like having two perspectives almost.
Exactly, like a 3D view of the town, more than just headlines. So the funeral, something that jumped out at me, no kids. No kids at all. Younger than 15, I mean.
Yeah, that's strange, right? You'd expect to see kids, at least some.
I know. It's like, are the parents keeping them away? Or are they, like, scared to even be there?
I'm not sure. Could be both, maybe. Protection and fear. A bit of both.
Probably. And it's, I mean, talk about setting the mood. This isn't just a news story anymore, right?
Yeah.
This is real fear affecting how people live their lives.
Absolutely. And the person who wrote this account, they say the adults at the funeral, they were like paperboard cutouts.
Yeah, like they weren't even really there, just going through the motions.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
in shock,
Why is
shutting down their emotions to cope.
I could see that. And then there's the actual service. The mother, Natalie's mother, she gave the eulogy.
Oh, wow. Must have been tough.
It's heartbreaking reading it. There's a line she says, "Never again will I sing you to sleep." I mean,
Gosh, that's just...
I know, right? And then later she just says, "Mostly, my dear daughter, we will miss you." Just devastating.
Absolutely. And her husband, Mr. Keene.
He seems, well, smaller somehow.
Yeah.
You can feel the grief just weighing him down. But there's this anger there, too, like under the surface.
Yeah, grief is complicated. It's not just sadness. It's anger, confusion, everything all at once.
Definitely. And it's not just him. There's this part where some guy, is grumbling about wanting an eye for an eye.
That's a pretty strong reaction. Definitely not the usual funeral vibe.
No, it's not. It's like they want revenge. They want someone to pay.
Yeah, makes sense. They're hurting. They're scared. They want someone to blame.
Right. And then outside the church, there's this group of teenage girls.
Oh, teenagers. What were they doing?
They're just laughing, hanging out. But then they see someone looking at them, and suddenly they're all serious, somber.
Huh. Interesting. Maybe just typical teenage stuff, not knowing how to act, or maybe nervous laughter, dealing with stress in a weird way.
Maybe. But it's just like another layer of weirdness on top of everything else.
It is. And then the burial itself. They put her in the family plot. The writer says it's like the purest form of family being buried there.
Yeah, like it's all that's left, the family connection, even in death.
Right. Like that's the one thing that endures no matter what.
Okay, so after the funeral, everyone goes back to the Keene house.
Okay. So what's the house like?
It's big. Like, way too big for Wind Gap, almost. To Missouri, is what the writer says.
To Missouri? What does that even mean?
I don't know, but it just sounds like out of place, like it doesn't belong there. Anyway, there's a buffet set up, and immediately people split into two groups.
Oh, what kind of groups?
There's the tearful group, obviously upset, and then the dry group, mostly in the kitchen, drinking.
Ah, the classic division. Those who grieve openly and those who, well, don't.
Yeah, exactly. And the dry group, they're angry. Really angry. Talking about the investigation going nowhere, how the police are useless.
So frustration with the lack of progress. Understandable, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. But then it gets kind of scary. They're saying things like, they'll shoot anyone who comes near their daughters, any stranger.
Whoa. That's intense.
Right, but then the writer says they'll probably forget all about it by morning.
So more talk than action. Just venting their frustration, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. But it's still unsettling, this undercurrent of violence.
Definitely. So what about the tearful group?
They're grieving. Natalie's brother, he's just devastated. Her mother, too, obviously. Totally heartbroken. And then there's the narrator's mother, just flitting around like a manic blue jay, they call her.
Huh. Sounds like she's dealing with things in her own way.
Yeah, but it's not really connecting with anyone else's grief, like she's in her own world. And it kind of emphasizes how differently everyone grieves,
Absolutely. And then scattered around the house, there are all these little reminders of Natalie. Her sweater with a unicorn on it, a copy of A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, those little details. It just hits you. She was a real person with her own things, her own life. And now it's gone.
It really makes it real, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what about the narrator? How are they experiencing all of this?
Well, even though they're from Wind Gap, they feel like an outsider, like they don't really belong.
That's interesting, being from a place but not feeling like you're part of it.
Right. And they run into all these people they knew growing up, Katie Lacey, Angie Papermaker, Mimi, Tish, but it's all very surface level.
Small talk when something so huge has happened.
Exactly. Like no one knows how to really talk about it. But then there's this interaction with Jackie O'Neill, and that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, Jackie O'Neill. What happens?
She basically has this emotional outburst right in front of everyone, starts talking about how the narrator is just like the murdered girls, and hints that the narrator's mother is upset with them.
Whoa, that's a lot to unpack. Sounds like there's some history there, some tension between them.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that the narrator leaves the Keene house without actually talking to the family, it just adds to the sense of distance, like there are unresolved issues there.
It's like we're seeing the edges of a much bigger story, right? Something beneath the surface.
Okay, so we also have this news report, right, from the Chicago Daily Post. It's more factual, less emotional.
Right. It gives us the official version of events. What does it say?
So it covers the basics. Finding Natalie's body, the connection to Ann Nash's murder. And there's this detail about the teeth, how they were removed.
Oh, God. That's horrible. Makes it so much more disturbing somehow.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the police are baffled. They have no leads. They're even bringing in help from Kansas City.
Really? So it's a serious investigation.
Definitely. And the town, they're reacting. Curfews, neighborhood watches, everyone's on edge.
Makes sense. They're scared. They want to protect themselves, protect their kids.
Exactly. And the article has quotes from people, too. Ronald Kamens, he just sounds lost, confused. Jeannie Keene, Natalie's mother, her statement is just heartbreaking.
I can imagine. And what about the father of the first victim, Ann Nash?
Bob Nash, he insists that there was nothing wrong with Ann, no problems, no secrets.
That's interesting. Almost like he's trying to protect her memory, even now.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he genuinely believes it. But then the narrator, they admit to, well, embellishing things a bit.
Embellishing. How so?
They kind of pushed the serial killer angle, even though there wasn't much evidence for it. And they made up some quotes, too.
Oh, wow. That's not great, journalistically speaking.
No,
No.
it's not. But their editor, Curry, he just says it's a solid start. Like, he doesn't really care about the ethics of it.
Yikes. That's a bit cynical, isn't it?
Totally. But it kind of shows how the news works sometimes. It's all about getting the story, even if you have to bend the truth a little.
And there's another interesting detail, right? About why the Chicago Daily Post might have Wind Gap all to themselves for a while.
Oh, right. Because there's a big sex scandal in Congress and a serial killer case in Seattle. So Wind Gap is like small potatoes compared to that.
Wow, so it's almost by chance that this little town is getting any attention at all.
It really is. Like the news cycle is just a weird random thing.
Mm.
Okay, so back to the narrator. They go back to their childhood bedroom and it's not exactly welcoming.
Not welcoming. How so?
It's very bare, minimalist, kind of cold even. And the only decoration is a portrait of Eleanor Roosevelt.
Huh. Interesting choice. Maybe reflecting the narrator's personality somehow.
Yeah, maybe. They even say they prefer a picture of Warren Harding's wife because she had more bite.
Okay, that's telling. Like they're drawn to strong, assertive women.
Right. And they just feel so out of place, both in Wind Gap and in their life back in Chicago. Like
Yeah.
they don't fit in anywhere.
Yeah, I can see that. Like they're caught between two worlds. So do they interact with their mother at all?
Oh, yeah. The mother comes in, offers them some lotion. Seems nice, right? But then she starts criticizing everything.
Criticizing? Like what?
The funeral, for one. How Jeannie Keene's letter was inappropriate. And when the narrator says they might go to the police station, the mother shuts that down immediately.
Wow. Sounds controlling, a bit suffocating.
Yeah, definitely. Like appearances are everything to her. And then the narrator runs into their half-sister, Amma, on the porch.
Half-sister. That's right, we hadn't talked about that yet. What's that dynamic like?
Well, it's weird. Amma is playing with this dollhouse, a replica of their mother's house. Incredibly detailed.
The dollhouse. Okay. Kind of creepy already.
Right. And she's talking about being her mother's little doll, how she knows the narrator is her half-sister.
Huh. That's a loaded statement. Like, she's aware of the family dynamics and maybe playing them out in this dollhouse world.
Yeah, and then she makes this comment about the narrator's room in the dollhouse, how it's empty. Just unsettling.
Definitely. Like a subtle threat, almost.
Yeah, it's creepy. And finally, the narrator goes to the police station to talk to Chief Vickery.
To get some information for the article, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. But Vickery is not exactly helpful.
How so?
He's suspicious of her right from the start, accuses her of opportunism, trying to exploit the situation for her story.
Oh, wow. Not a warm welcome.
No, not at all. And he says the detective from Kansas City hasn't found anything, no leads, no clues.
But the investigation is going nowhere.
Exactly. And then he drops this bombshell. He says Ann Nash killed a pet bird and Natalie Keene stabbed a classmate.
Whoa, hold on. So the victims weren't so innocent after all.
Apparently not. And Vickery says everyone knows who the bad seeds are.
Wow. That's chilling. Like, there are secrets in this town, things people know but don't talk about.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, what else are they hiding? What else don't we know?
Right. And then, right in the middle of this conversation, the detective from Kansas City walks in.
Yeah, and he's completely different from Vickery. Confident, little flirty even.
Okay, so a clash of personalities.
Totally. And Vickery's not happy about it. He basically dismisses the detective like he's not even worth his time.
So much tension there. So as we wrap this up, what are your main takeaways?
It's just the whole atmosphere of Wind Gap. It's like this pressure cooker of grief, fear, and secrets. Everyone's dealing with it in their own way, but it's all connected somehow. And the narrator, they're right in the middle of it, trying to make sense of it all.
It's a fascinating look at a small town under immense pressure. And those hints about the victims, about things people know but aren't saying, it really makes you think. What's lurking beneath the surface of this seemingly quiet community? And what does it say about the nature of evil itself, that it can take root even in the most unexpected places?
Yeah, it's a lot to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.
Anytime.
Until next time.
See ya.